cardio session of the day done. This went really well yesterday because I got training done earlier. So getting in there and training, 6, 7 a.m. or whatever is really helpful right now because it lets me get it done sooner. And then we get this cardio before we hit the peak times where I can't do it outside because the cell phone tower is not working, right? According to my provider. Like, well, it's overloaded during the peak times. We're having a lot of drops. But these mornings work great. Like I got over an hour yesterday. So it's early enough we can do that. So I may try to do an hour or so in here. If we can stay connected, if I don't need to pee. So we should be good. And I'm still fasted. I got breakfast going. I need to add a little more salt. I'm sweating more. And I noticed my hamstrings were cramping during leg day today. I didn't do that many. I only did 4 sets for my hamstrings today because I was getting some cramping. Plus the deficit deadlifts killed me. I did 2 sets of those and I'm not doing a third. But then I got to the glute ham raises. That second set I was cramping up. Like I better chill on this so I can function today. So I just need to get better hydration. That's really the key. More hydration, more sodium, more potassium. So I'm not liking using soy sauce for all that. So I'm like, I don't know, just dump. So I got I bought a thing a few years back. I got an enormous container of pink Himalayan salt. It's like a half gallon. So I'm like, I can add that to my rice with some potassium salt and we're good. OJC, what's up, man? Get those likes up for me, guys. Hey, OJ, hit the like button. That's what gets people in here. If you don't hit the like button, we're not going to get people in the stream. What's better for leg hypertrophy? Too vague of a question. Could you specify what part of the leg? And I don't know that quad hypertrophy is what I would use a deadlift for. So do you mean quads? Do you mean abductors? Do you mean hamstrings? Obviously a sumo is going to hit the quad and adductor more, but it's going to be a partial for them. So I wouldn't spend a lot of time worrying about deadlifting for those. You're still going to get some quad and everything out of any deadlift. So why don't you do squats and leg presses for your quads? Now, you're going to get better hamstring activation with a conventional. Hamstring is a big part of the leg. But I mean realistically, back squats and machine squat variations can pretty much give you 100% of your quad development. And I'm not saying the deadlifts don't carry over some, but they are going to be secondary stress. So, always think through what you're doing for those tools for the job, I mean, sure you could, but are you not doing other leg work? Or are you trying to use the deadlift exclusively? Well, your quads are going to be lagging. But sure, technically a sumo stance will work up more quad than a conventional, right? But it's still a partial. And I'm not saying it won't help, it will. Just saying, think through the tools for the job. Now, conventional deadlift's a monster on the hamstrings. Don't let anybody convince you that it's not either. Like people who are like, oh, it doesn't build quads or glutes and hamstrings. It's like, really? What do you think's moving all that weight? What is doing all the work? People are silly, right? What's going on, Paul? Morning, Paul. Paul's one of my clients. Hit that like button, by the way, guys. People are silly. It's like asking, well, what's moving the weight? What muscle is the deadlift and exercise for? It's like for the lower back. Like, really? So you think that I lifted 635 in my best deadlift with my low back? You really think my erectors are strong enough to lift 635? That's what did it? I think it was my glutes and hamstrings doing most of the work. So, realistically, think about that. You come in and do 10 reps with 500 pounds on a conventional deadlift. Do you really think the only thing that's growing from that is your erectors? Of course not. Is weight gain after a long cut normal? Um, yeah, weight gain after any cut's normal because you regain water. Like as soon as you end your deficit, you regain water weight. Now, as far as fat gain goes, it's calorie surplus. How much fat and how much calorie surplus do you have? That's what's going to determine the fat gain. You have any video views on weight loss injections? I haven't discussed them in vast detail. You talking about GLP-1s and stuff? I mean, I have thoughts on it. While I would wish most people would use diet and exercise, we have an obesity epidemic, and we have a country that seems to have no ability to moderate food, and we have to cure it by any means necessary at this point. So if we need to pass out GLPs like candy and then teach people basic nutrition, then it's better than the alternative, which is an out-of-control obesity crisis, which is destroying healthcare. Came here to spread some love. Love you all. Okay, cool, man. Can one top set be enough if you do plenty of accessories too? Sure. I mean, it's workable. It can work. But enough for what? You know, is it enough to build your 1 rep max? No, you need to do heavy singles. I mean, if your goal is a heavy max, can you gain muscle from one top set of, say, deadlifts or squats? Sure, and then do accessory work to build the rest of them? Sure, it's workable. I've programmed that. I gained like 6 pounds. Okay, monkey boy. Are you this same guy I've banned 50 times? I mean, you keep giving the same stats. Like, at least change your stats up so I can quit banning you. Like, lie. Give me a different number. Okay. Monkey boy, you're typing a question. I've had a guy I have banned every day for 5 months straight who is in the 140s at 5'10", and he keeps asking me the most deranged questions. So when you post that, that's why I'm laughing. It could be 1,000,000 to 1 coincidence. But literally, everyone who's in the comments knows they're going laughing. They're like, oh, that's got to be him. I've literally banned him 150 times. So when you say that, and then I come over to the question, why are you cutting in the 140s at 5'10"? I think that you have an eating disorder, and I think that you should talk to a therapist. A man who works out weighing 142 pounds at 5'10", you think that this is appropriate? No, I think that you need to go talk to an anorexia or bulimia therapist about your eating disorder. And I'm not being mean. I'm not trolling you. I'm 100% dead serious that you would cut to that low of a body weight. Someone who's into fitness and lifting. Mm-mm. No, I mean, were you prepping for a bodybuilding show? You should expect immediate rebound, like to gain 15 pounds immediately after your bodybuilding show, like the first week, 2 weeks. So that's the only reason to drop that low as a lifter at your height. You did a lightweight bodybuilding competition, so you dropped down to 142 for 1 day, 2 days. All right, so you're completely shredded to the bone. This guy sounded like he wants to ball up fast and make faster gains. Everyone, they guys want to do that. They're like, if I just bulk faster, I'll make faster gains. It's like, you'll become a fat ass faster. You're not going to gain more muscle just because you start gaining fat. But if it's him, it's the same guy. And he'll argue with me. And then he's like, and then he'll say, but then I got too fat. I got upset, cut down to 145 again. I lost all my gains. And then, you tell him the same stuff. So I've been banning him for 6 months. He's got a mental issue. And I just don't need it. All right, but back over to more important matters. Get those likes up, by the way, guys. Come on. Let's get this stream up and running and flowing properly. We'll get a nice, good walk in, too. Yesterday was really solid. I got over an hour in this time window. We had a good connection. 1 pound a month is all anyone ever needs. Yeah, mortal. I'll make 2 exceptions. There are 2 situations for lifters. Let's set aside burn victims. Let's set aside advanced HIV. All right, we're talking normal, semi-healthy people. I will give you 2 exceptions where I would exceed 1 pound a month. Number 1, a really, truly skinny, underweight novice can gain 2 pounds a month. Okay, right? Everyone agree? If you're 140 pounds and 5'10", all right, you can gain 2 pounds a month for a bit. If your training is perfect. I'd only do it for about 4 or 5 months, maybe 6. So you're borderline anorexic, makes sense. Number 2, your first steroid cycle. I see no problem with a lifter on their first blast of anabolic steroids gaining 2 or 3 pounds a month. None at all. Only your first one. You got them virgin receptors. Like, that makes sense, you know. But it's also not accounting for the water weight. Like, that's a totally different, we could argue way even more because they're going to gain water, depending on what they use. You know, you'll gain strength slower. Hey, gains. But do you want to be fat? You're going to lose the strength anyways. So any strength you gain from fat leverages, you lose that when you diet the fat off. You know that, right? So you're gaining temporary strength. You're not gaining muscle slower, you're gaining leverage slower. So why is that a big deal? Can vape creatine. I mean, I guess if you want to die. All right. If the person feels like shit in the gym because they are too light. So are they anorexic gains? So, I mean, we gave the example. If you're 140 pounds, it's 6 foot tall. Okay, fine. But are you talking about a normal, healthy person? Are you talking about somebody who's 15% body fat already? Right? No, they don't need to gain more than a pound, ever. Unless it's their first steroid cycle. Jesus in the Talmud, I'm on steroids. So is everybody, man. We all on steroids. What are you talking about? All right. Paul says, loving 3 times a week push-pull leg seems... Yeah, Paul, I think it works really good for you. You know, I think because of certain things in your lifestyle, and other activities and the rock climbing, other stuff you do off and on, I think it works really well. Well, now we got multiple clients commenting. We got Ted in here, we got Paul. I feel like I didn't eat enough through the day, but the calories in the normal. I don't know. Gains. I train fasted. You don't see me complaining. I mean, gains. So I don't know what's going on with your fatigue management, what's going on with your overall diet. I literally trained for an hour and a half completely fasted. I'm still fasted. All right. I just did a leg day with 18 work sets, and I'm fasted still. I'm going to eat breakfast after this walk. I didn't feel like shit. So what's going on with your training and fatigue management? Just don't do the rip-toe method and gain 20 pounds in your first day month. Well, that's because a novice lifter, he needs to gain weight. A grown man weighs at least 200 pounds. So if you're starting at 160, we need to get you up to 200 in about 8 weeks. A gallon of milk a day. Homemade roids or gas station pro hormones. I'm gonna go with homemade roids. I mean, do you have proper filters? Look, I mean, if you can set all your water baths up, you have all the correct solvents, you got the right filters, you know, you bake all your glassware in the oven to temp before you put the final mix in. You're getting accurately dosed raws. I wouldn't know anything about this personally, by the way, then I'm not necessarily seeing the problem. Then You know, main thing is really sterilizing those vials. You know, it's about getting that up to 275 for an hour for all, 20, 30 of your vials before you put the final mixture in and cap it. All right, Jason, I noticed my front squat position and form have gotten better with regular neck training. Strange how the better rhythm smell. Dude, everything works downstream. A weakness in one place turns into weakness everywhere. Excuse. What's your personal favorite lift, the conventional deadlift? Wear t-shirts, are you homeless? One, I'm getting a tan too. It's like 8 million degrees. I live in Texas. It's like the ninth circle of hell. So if I wear any shirts, they are drenched by the end of a walk, and my laundry really piles up. And then you have really stinky, disgusting shirts piling up because you don't want to do laundry 4 times a week. So, thoughts on nicotine gum, not smoking for metabolic boost and appetite control. What? Why don't you do like everybody else and eat more fiber and protein? So strange, man. All these dudes who get ripped, they use so many cheats and then they talk about discipline. And it's just like, man, guys, I don't think it's discipline. I never use stuff to help cut. Maybe that's what I need to do, right? I'd probably be pretty ripped one day if I actually did all this crazy stuff people do. I use nicotine gum. I use Clen. I use Clen and nicotine gum together. Well, damn. I've been doing this stuff the hard way. Do your joints and tendons feel as good as when you were doing body parts? They feel fine right now. My quad tendons be hurting lately, but I'm going to see what happens with this really deep pause stuff. So I did really deep pause squats today. I went lighter. I took my belt squat and I took it all the way ass to grass. Like super, super deep. Found the positions. Jason, you should get on melatonin too. Allows you to get a tan after 5 minutes in the sun. Dude, I got a tan right now just from walking out here. Like, I'm the darkest I've been in years. It can be a problem for me living in Texas, man. Because I'm Slavic already, we tan easy. Not like you regular crackers. We're like, we got a little bit of pop, a little bit of flair, right? Like a spicy cracker. But, what happened to you? What happened to your mom? Problem is, man, I'm walking around here. I get too much of a tan. I'm gonna have to work on my Spanish more. I am in Texas, guys. I don't know. Where's your sunscreen? Where's your mom's sunscreen? Talking about sunscreen. When you say muscle gain is a slow process, do you mean strength gains too? Yes. Yes, we do. Uh-oh, we got a dog and a cat situation here. Let's check this out. We got a standoff. Uh-oh. All right, I'm gonna try not to get involved. Other people's fights are not my fights. Let's move along. So that's right, they're having a standoff there in the Texas streets. It's crazy out in those streets, man, up in north of Houston and Spring and Tomball area. It's rough out in them streets, man. What's the nicest thing about living in Texas? No state taxes, low cost of living, open carry. The fact that the government has no say in whether I wear a gun or a sword on my belt, and the police cannot stop you for probable cause because of it, because it's a constitutional right. How's that? The fact that when I go into a courthouse, they have to give me a lockbox to check my gun. So I'm allowed to wear it in, and then I can check it and then take it back out when I leave. So if I'm gaining slow strength, gain slow as well. Of course, make a video about this and so people don't get, hey, gains, I have made hundreds of videos about this. I guess I could, that's a good video topic though. I get asked this so much, I should definitely do videos explaining strength gains from fat are temporary. They're just leverages. But yeah, man, we had that cat dog stand out over there. Jason, you should absolutely leverage pharmaceutical and stay. I mean, I guess I could. Honestly, if I wanted to spend the money, I'd just go back on a bunch of growth. Eventually I will. Let me get some more clients. Let me get more client money flowing in, and I'll throw some growth. Like, I don't want to do all the other stuff to suppress appetite, man. Some growth hormone before that would probably, what I do already, would finish everything up. Right? I just don't like the idea of fat burners and stuff like directly. I would rather have stuff that's like structural changes. I don't know. Yeah, I like squatting 135 for 5 hardly and feel like, well, it takes time. Gains. It takes time. We all start somewhere. But my other point is, do you want to just get fat? Okay, you have the textbook wheel spin mindset. You're just like, oh, I'm too small, I'm too weak. So instead of gaining muscle at the rate my body will let me, I'm just going to overeat and get fatter, and I'll just cut it down later. No, you can't do that. It's not going to work. Like, if you take that approach, you need to be comfortable with the fat that you gain. You need to say, I don't mind keeping it for 5 years. But then they're like, I got a muffin top going on already. Well, you should have thought of that. Gains, are you a tall dude? So that's your issue. You could just make lean gains all the way up and just accept it's going to be a slow process, and then you won't have to do that. Because what's going to happen, I'm going to remind you guys again, if you bulk so much that you gain a bunch of fat, the strength is temporary. Okay, so when you cut, you're not going to gain more muscle. You're going to gain the same amount of muscle, but you'll get fat leverages on the lift. When you get sick of that fat and diet it, you're going to lose that strength. And that's where the guys panic, who do this mistake over and over as novices. And it leads to some wheel spinning, because then they diet the fat off. They panic, like, oh my God, I gained 25 pounds too much fat. You know how much muscle they lose when they diet that 25 pounds off? And the same thing, they lose the fat leverage that they gained. So now you're down to the strength you would have had on the lean bulk at the same weight. Just keep at it, my man. You don't have to hit certain weights. Exactly. Cart, you lose strength because so if you gain a bunch of fat, your leverages change from the squish and everything with the fat, especially on the squat and the bench. So if the fat disappears, you're automatically weaker. Okay, you've lost the padding and leverage that was letting you move more weight. So when you lose the fat, you have to gain muscle to re-get to the same strength you had with the higher fat. If you have the same amount of muscle, you're going to move less weight. So strength gain from fat gain is temporary unless you just keep the fat. That's too physical science. Wow, fat has the leverage. Yep. I mean, and we know that it does, especially on the squat and the bench. It doesn't on the deadlift at all. Like, it's not advantageous. But the bench press and the squat, absolutely. Jason, is the strongest you've been in this body weight? No, I don't think so. Well, maybe. I don't know. I gotta think about it. The whole video blueprint about this. The people need it. Have you changed your mind on strength standards? You remember you having a specific standard? No. I mean, I pretty much have put standards out with specific criteria. Whether you think they're realistic or not is irrelevant. So if I tell you, if you want to look jacked, you probably need to reach X, Y, Z strength standards. Like if you want to look big walking down the street, you should probably hit those numbers. Someone going, that's unrealistic, doesn't change it. Well, then you're saying it's unrealistic to look big walking down the street is what you're saying. So should fat people be required to add 10 pounds more? Well, no. That's why we have weight classes in strength sports, Carl. We have weight classes anyways. And then we have Dots and Wilks scores to determine relative strength. Right? You all know this. This is not new. Make a whole blueprint. Hey, Gaines, you've already said that like 7 times. All right? It's not going to be a blueprint, but I've done it a few times, actually. I can cover it again now, because I'm making lots of videos. What hits the glutes harder, squats or deadlifts? Ooh. I'm going to give you 2 different answers. I'm going to say in the lengthened position, you're probably getting more out of the squats. We can make a case for maybe glutes as a better short, I don't know, maybe. They both hit glutes really effectively though. But if I had to pick, man, I'm gonna have to go with the back squat by a small margin. Being lean is more important than being strong, but being strong and lean is not a bad combo, Joe. Says after your squat and deadlift, you get very hungry and want to eat more. I did squats and deadlifts today. I'm doing fasted cardio now. I haven't eaten my breakfast yet. I am hungry though. During squats, my knee clicks, okay? It's probably nitrogen bubbles in the cartilage most of the time. Does it hurt? Also, guys, we only have 7 likes. We're like 30 minutes deep with 7 likes. Hit that like button. Come on. Hit that like button for Daddy. What's the problem now? Get on top of that, guys. Hit those likes. We got to get this view count up. Maybe it'll do like yesterday to really pick up as we get close to the hour. But I think if we keep a good signal, I'm hoping we're good after one. Well, Gaines, it sounds like you need some coaching then. I have coaching slots open. You know how to reach me. So, because you're breaking down a lot of little problems here, I can't handle all that in here, but I can coach you through all of it. So, you know how to reach me. Reach me on the Facebook. Fasted cardio doesn't look that fast. Mystery, how about I don't say it real fast? Because I can already phonetically tell you what it's going to sound like. The guy wants me to say gay porn. Can someone with exceptional bicep genetics get away with mainly doing chin-ups and biceps? Yeah, sure. Yeah, they'll still have big biceps, but they'll have even bigger biceps if they do curls too. Does test improve bone density or only HGH? Yes, test can improve bone density. Some anabolics are better at bone density than test. So ones that are specifically designed, like we could argue nandrolone, Manadrol, probably a little better at it. Because they're more SARM-like. Like everyone's always talking about SARMs. I'm like, we made a SARM-like anabolic. It's called nandrolone. It does a better job than SARMs of being a SARM. Make the strength gain video. Hey, Gaines, I've already made it, but I'll make more. 3x5 weighted chin-ups a good range? Sure. Why not? Sounds good to me. You get those likes at best. Come on. We need to get a few more likes in here. So I think I'm gonna come back down this street. What do you think? What do you think Alex Leonid's first cycle? His first blast that I think he went on, he looked really boofy. So I'm gonna go with probably testing some sort of wet oral. He kind of had that D-ball moon face, didn't he? Yeah, I prefer 5s on chin-ups, 10s. Gain 2 by 5 pull-ups. And you're cruising towards paralysis by analysis. He really is. Paralysis by analysis. Yeah, these are the guys that don't make any gains. And it's fine to have analysis, but if you don't have the education, it's a waste of time. Meaning, I can give you lots of analysis. I have 25 years of experience. I've coached elite lifters. Sure, I can give you good analysis. You don't have the experience to do analysis. So any efforts that you make to go beyond the absolute sheer basics and take advice is going to give you less progress every single time. It will be as what's called paralysis by analysis. You're overanalyzing things that you don't have the knowledge or education to assess and then making decisions based on it. That is a fast track to gaining nothing. So Nutbag's absolutely right. And that is the term we use in lifting, paralysis by analysis. You don't have the background to answer these questions or to think them through. You need about 20 years more experience. Okay, what rep range is best for dumbbell benching after doing heavy benching? Well, how about we just say dumbbell benching in general? You know how hard it is to do less than about 8 reps with good form without risking a pec tear? So I think that sums it up. Yeah, went down the rabbit hole myself, made way better gains by just focusing on what I wanted to do in the gym, of course, with proven exercises, right? Use proven protocols. People who don't have experience really have, and they get upset when I say this, they have no business thinking for themselves. Let experts tell you what to do, follow their advice, learn. Okay, you're not gonna reinvent the wheel. Like I have people who literally say, well, I came up with this theory, what I wanna do. I'm like, yeah, that was debunked 60 years ago. I'm like, oh. Yeah, a bunch of coaches tried that 60 years ago, it didn't work. So your great-grandpappy tried it and you didn't bother to ask him. How do you time your coffee consumption to not interfere? I just only drink it in the morning. Oh, what do you mean with mineral? I thought you meant sleep. With mineral absorption? I don't care. So let's talk about hippie nutrition and stuff that doesn't matter. This is the sort of nonsense that people waste their time on. You're really worried about mineral absorption with coffee timing. And you think this is going to somehow impact your gains or your health. And so then you waste time and mental energy on it. But by that same token, I guess I don't have to think about it, because even if it does, if it were a problem, I guess I'm good by default because I drink coffee while I'm fasting. I don't eat before 10 a.m., sometimes noon. I drink coffee only in the mornings while I'm fasted. Why is Mike Israel so anesthetic? Genetics, the drugs he chooses to use. Mike has an excessive amount of visceral fat from his insulin abuse. Relative strength, a good indicator of how much muscle you have. It's how much muscle you have relative to your height. Yes. Fasted 100%, this is fantastic. Yeah, I'm still fasted. So my goal for this morning, I did a leg day, fasted. I'm gonna try to do at least an hour of cardio fasted, which we're very quickly approaching the hour mark now. And then I'm gonna eat breakfast. I've had a whole pot of coffee this morning. Don't know, like Vegan Gains has a worse physique. Yeah. Well, you know, everyone has their issues. I still have loose skin from being fat before. But I mean, I could make a case that if I were to diet down, which I'm dieting down now, what happens if me with my structure, if I do diet down really lean and I bring up my rear delts and my triceps, the long head of my triceps, then everyone's like, oh, he changed genetics. No. So this is strange that my screen went from bright to dark with no change in the lighting. It's something to do with YouTube because my Facebook never does this. So something with YouTube stream likes to go really dark and I can see the words just barely. I'm gonna see if I go into a shadier area if it'll flip back over. I think it will. Yeah, that's a game changer. Fasted training followed by fasted steady state and break it, have 2, 3, go. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm literally doing large amounts of list cardio, then I'm eating a clean, very high carb, low fat, high protein diet right now. Like I'll lean out pretty effectively doing that. So then we carb back up during my feed window. I can do 185 pound polished close grip Larson press for 13 reps. Do you think I can bench as close to 315? Probably. I'd say you're probably close. You definitely got the triceps. So close grip Larson press for 13 of 185. You're probably getting close. Now, I don't know if you have the pectorals for the 315, but your triceps should be strong enough. What's your main source of protein? Chicken breast and Greek yogurt. Oh, I bought some Mootopia, which is a HEB's version of Fairlife Fat Free. I brought 3 jugs of that yesterday. I didn't put the picture up yet on social media. I put up all my groceries online. People want to know what I do. So if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you can see every grocery basket. Every single one of them goes up. Do you think Wonder Max calculators are accurate? No, they're not accurate past about 3 to 4 reps. They spit out some cray-cray numbers. People say lean gains. People say all sorts of stupid shit. Novices can make lean gains too. Novices recomp really effectively also. Like you're in a like if novices are who don't have abs are in a beautiful position to recomposition and make lean gains concurrently. It's been done in the lab over and over. So many studies have done it that it's ridiculous. Right? Look at all these studies that show on small calorie surpluses, novices make lean gains and lose fat while only gaining 5 pounds or whatever over so many months. Like, wow, their body fat percentage went down 2% while gaining purely lean gains. Like, you really have to work hard to mess up noob gains. Like, but people do it, don't get me wrong. Man, my God, did they mess it up. My God, what would I give to get those noob gains back with the knowledge I have today? That's why I get novices who are like, I don't need a coach. And I'm like, clearly you do. I mean, I'm trying to imagine right now, if I were to start over with my current knowledge as a complete ranked novice with noob gains, whew. Actually, I'd go right on gear at that point too. Go ahead and maximize my gear stack to go hit those noob gains. That's what I would do. Because I already have the knowledge, I'm not gonna get hurt. All right, dieting down to 9% body fat would probably get rid of most. Joe, it actually probably would. I got my newbie gains from all your full body programming 3 days a week. I made fasted gains over the span of 8. Yep. I mean, even David Lade started, admitted he started on one of my free novice programs. That's what he built his base on. But all these guys want to reinvent the wheel. They think that they're going to come up with better programs than what all the coaches have put out that people successfully run. They think they're going to do these different things. And that's, again, the downside to them just not knowing better. You know, they just don't know any better, really. Oh, this lighting's perfect. If you fail midway on the closed grip bench, is that a shoulder weakness? I don't know how much is midway. It may be a shoulder weakness. Are you failing at your transition point in the bar path? Probably. Because that bar doesn't move in a straight line. Is impatience a reason for getting skinny fat? Is a novice? Yep. Novices bulk too fast and then panic and cut. They get fat and they don't gain muscle any quicker. Because gains, when I'm telling you that pound a month, you're like, but if I gain 3 pounds, I'll gain muscle faster. No. And that's what I'm telling you. You're not going to gain muscle any faster. So you're going to gain the same muscle, but you're going to gain fat with it. So then you're like, man, I barely gained any muscle, but I gained all this fat. It's like, well, yeah, because muscle growth's a slow process, home skillet. I told you. You know, I mean, they really think they're going to gain 3 pounds of muscle in a month. Maybe with virgin receptors on a steroid blast, maybe. But a lot of that's going to be transient storage factors. Overcomplicating it. Patience is key. Strength through faster, no. No, they see gains just fine. What do you mean they don't see gains? Do you think 3x5 isn't hypertrophy? You think that's powerlifting? See, this is where guys mess up. They're like, oh, 5x5. That's powerlifting. No, it's not. That's bodybuilding. Do you think powerlifters get strong doing 5x5s? That's how we bulk up. Like if we're gonna do a squat, bench, or a deadlift in a 5x5, that's hypertrophy work. Five by five came from the bodybuilding world. That was invented by bodybuilders for bodybuilding. Loose skin is a fairly new thing for humans. How would the body naturally know this? Yeah, exactly. Because we haven't had obesity previously before this food environment, you know? Yeah, it's problematic, isn't it? Oh man, it's 10 o'clock already. Making good progress here. I want to get a few more people. If we get more people in here, I can get a nice little number of views on the final backstretch of this. But yeah, you're right. Loose skin is really new for the human condition. 4 p.m. my time. Well, you're definitely not in Texas then. You're somewhere in Europe. It's always funny. I saw some stuff online comparative come through. Like, because I always laugh when Europeans ask me stuff. Well, what's the weather like in Texas? And I'm like, they're like asking what's the weather like in China. They have no concept of the scale. They're thinking, oh, it's one of the states in the US, so it couldn't be that much bigger than France. And it's like, oh yeah, it is. You know, so they forget we're 1,500 kilometers across and 1,500 kilometers north to south. So Texas tip to tip, it's like 1,500 kilometers. So there's a lot of temperature variation. Yeah, I used to train in the dungeon. So just accept slow strength gains. Yeah. Well, they're not going to be that slow. Like if you're not gaining strength rapidly, even with the 1 pound of weight gain a month, something's wrong. So you're not doing the lifts correctly. You're not sleeping. Something is wrong. Yeah, my country can literally fit inside Texas times 50. The U.S. is almost an entire continent. Yeah, exactly. Alaska's bigger than Texas, though. That's the one state that is. Outside of that, though, yeah, it's the biggest state. And it's got its own culture. It used to be its own country. So we have a different mindset here. So that's why it's always funny, again, the same thing. I'll get people in here from the UK or other parts of Europe and they'll ask me stuff about American viewpoint. I'm like, but I live in Texas. So that's like telling someone who lives in the UK, saying, could you explain to me the European viewpoint? They'd be like, I live in the UK. I don't really have the same culture as the rest of Europe. Exactly. Like, I live in a place where it actually keeps the violence low. I live in a place where we openly, legally carry guns. We can openly, legally carry Bowie knives, swords in a sheath. It's all perfectly legal. Walk down the street. And that's our culture. I live in a country or a state where if they proposed a state income tax, the citizens would probably literally just kill the politicians. They would just rebel and cut their heads off. I'd be like, we're done. Next. And people hear that and they think I'm joking. Like they think I'm exaggerating or that I'm making, he's just talking. No, I'm serious. That's really how people are here. Crazy that Alaska's bigger than Texas, doesn't seem. Well, there's no people there. It's mostly untapped wilderness. Texas just has its own mindset. It's just like we're rugged individualists. We have expressions here like some people are like, everyone's scary, everyone's got weapons. No, it's not. Everyone's super polite. Like we're one of the most polite cultures. Everything is please, thank you, hello, I'm sorry. And we have an expression. An armed society is a polite society. And we don't tolerate rudeness in people. So, Texas modern day Sparta, And of course it's a polite society. You really want to go popping your mouth off in a place where everyone wears a gun? I mean, you could. You're not going to act like the chavs do in the UK. Just saying. So we're just a completely different culture, different way of life, different mindset. So you can't go. So people say, "Well, the American." I'm like you just asked a Texan that. I'm gonna give you another Texas quote. We're like, the United States, that's Texas and its 49 bitches. Like we say stuff like that, and we think it's just funny, It's the mindset here. So again, just different world, different cultures. But in spite of all that, we're very excessively polite. Like, you're supposed to hold doors for women and old people and stuff. Like, that's kind of a social breach if you don't, People who get loud and obnoxious, that's not acceptable. You're not allowed to be loud and obnoxious. So it's a problem. So for example, I've seen that multiple people I've met who came from, say, New York, which is known for being obnoxious in public as a culture. They get in trouble down here. Like you have to tell them you're going to get thrown out of this place. The police are going to be called. You can't behave like that in a public setting. Like you're going to get fined, like you're going to get arrested. And they're like, I'm just acting like I normally act. I'm like, you're going to get a $500 fine when the police show up for disturbing the peace. Like we're polite. We don't allow profanity in public. Again, manners are expected. Being a gentleman is expected behavior here. And that's why when people say, I don't carry a gun, and I'm just like, so you're a bad person. You don't do your basic civic duty to your society. And to some other people, that sounds crazy. But to us, that's normal. Like, why don't you? So you don't care about your community? You're still always going to get that one person adjacent no matter where you are. Really, can you not get in line? Yeah, dude, you can get a $500 fine for screaming the F word in public if the police hear it. You're not allowed to use obscenity in places where there's children and things can hear it. Mark Crypto will get everyone to bulk. That's right. We do fives and we drink a gallon of whole milk a day, right? Yeah, nutbag, it's illegal. I mean, it's not a felony, it's a misdemeanor. So it's not, you're not gonna go to jail unless you don't pay the fine. But no, you can't do that. Like not like in a restaurant or like a public venue. No, you can't do that. A big strong man does things a big strong man will do. Well, that's true. We definitely hit the hour mark. We've been walking an hour. Can you legally fly a drone in Texas? I think so. I don't know much about drones. But I mean, if your drone is trespassing over someone's property, it might not go well. Dirty book, right? Mark Ripto announced that they begin to less than 5,000. Oh Lord. There's no need for all that. And I'm not saying to eat big. Build your metabolic rate up and eat big. You don't just gain fat. That's what Mark Ripto saying no man should be below 200 pounds. Yeah, that's ridiculous. So if I were to trim down shredded to 195 or 190 just peeled to the bone, I'd be less than 200 pounds. Am I then not a man? I mean, I'd be stronger than Mark Ripto still. Made a video about how to get jacked on starting the next time it was 100,000 views. Hey coach, what are your maintenance calories? I'm not sure what they are at this exact moment with all this cardio. Normally they're about 35, 36 before this, but it's probably going up. Yeah, I'm a fanboy then. Yep. The views are going up a little as we're closing in on the hour. So basically, took a BJJ fighter who was skinny and like 170 pounds and bulked him to 230. Of course he got strong, but man, how fat did he get? Did he get fat? Almost a 500 deadlift at 230. I thought you said he got him strong. I'm just saying, you've seen me deadlift over 600 at 230 in my 40s. What are y'all talking about? People crack me up. Or like 200 pounds for 4, 205. You know, you don't need to bulk and cut that hard though, guys. It's just not worth it. Like I said, I need to trim down leaner at this point and stay leaner. That's why I'm doing all this cardio. Better, bigger. Maybe some people do, but it depends on what look you're going for. And it's also a question of health at a certain point too. I mean, realistically, how much body weight do we really want to carry around? Coach, did your internet sort itself out? No, it's just a good time of day. It's not internet, it's the cell phone tower. So when I'm on the network during peak hours, they're dropping because their cell phone tower is not working correctly for my provider in the area. So I got in touch with them. But this time of day, it's good. But once we start getting close to noon, peak hours, I have to do the cardio indoors. So my second session later, I'll probably do it at the stationary bike, you know. Just because I'll need the better connectivity. This is what I had to do yesterday. I tried to get out and do it and it kept cutting. You know, I mean, if you kept protein very high, you can cut, but you're not going to keep all the strength. So I don't know how many times I need to explain this. Yes, you can keep the muscle. You won't keep the fat strength. Being fatter improves leverages and makes some of your lifts easier. Your muscles don't have to work as hard. Do you see the point? So if your muscles only have to work at 95% of the effort to lift the same weight, due to the fat leverages, when the fat goes away, the same muscle contraction is going to be 5% less weight on the bar. Just like dudes are like, if I get this strong with knee wraps and I take the knee wraps off, I'll keep all of it. Well, no, you had a leverage advantage from the knee wraps. I did some speed bench yesterday. Feels like it's a game changer. Speed bench definitely helps with strength. So that's why I like conjugate for peaking for strength. The only thing I'm doing different from cutting, I want to keep all of my muscle. If possible, I want to make some gains. So I'm having to focus. My training really is bodybuilder. I'm calling it power building because I'm doing heavy squat, bench, and deadlift. But even those are all 5+ as of now, as of today. And we don't, Coach, we don't talk about what guy. Sorry, I'm out in the sun now heading back to my house. There's no shade tree, so the screen kind of turns black on me. At least with the sun this high up. It's nice and hot and sunny, so there's no way for me to see the screen. It doesn't automatic adjust, I noticed. It had to happen earlier. I saw it shift right in the middle. It's just adapting to the light, and I don't know how to make it stop doing that. Got to be a setting. But it seems like it does it worse on YouTube than it does on Facebook. I never really get to where I can't read the questions on Facebook no matter what. So once they kick me over to that new program, we'll be doing all the lives there. So you guys will have to follow me there. All right. Well, I can't see who Big Daddy is. Oh, I see something about Big Daddy as a troll. I don't know what any of that means. But we're getting back to the house. I got breakfast waiting. Actually, I need a quick shower first. I don't want to sit on my office chair or anything this sweaty. All right, is mixed grip okay on lower weight dead? Sure. Can I overpress 35? You stunting. What? Cold showers. Why would I take cold showers? I don't need cold showers. Like warm showers, like a normal human. But Bruce Lee took cold showers. You want to be like Bruce Lee? You want to be a Kung Fu master? All right, guys. We're pretty much home. I'm going to wind this down. I love you guys. And I'll talk to you next time.